All right, so at the time that you guys are going to be watching this, Toppo has already been released. I'm recording this the night before he comes out, and I think this is just something pretty fun to do, like a quick meta development update just before a character comes out. I'm going to do my best to try and do it before every character comes out. They've been pretty consistent with about like every 2-3 weeks. So just revisiting the roster and seeing how things change, especially with balance patches being dropped here and there. It sounds like a little bit of fun. We did get some character buffs, so things have changed, but the way I'm going to be doing this going forward is just going to be a little different. As you can see here, we have 3 different tier lists, and that's just because instead of just slapping everyone onto the same page, we're going to be separating each role and ranking the characters from that worst to best. That's just going to help me lay out my thoughts a little bit better and just talk about the characters a little bit better. We do kind of have a pretty like set meta development, so there's not too much to say unless I have like a real spicy take of my own on specific characters, or there's just something that I want to specifically talk about. So not gonna go too crazy. We're not gonna try and make this fucking ridiculously long. So we're just gonna go ahead and start right off with we're gonna start off with the damage roll and then move on to tank and then technical. So here on damage, we have 11 characters in the damage roll, and it kind of upsets me that Toppo is going to be 12th, because I really would have preferred him to have been a tank, considering that we only have 6 tanks in the game, compared to the 7 technicals and the fucking 11 damage. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. I think his kit is still fun. Toppo is one of my favorite characters from Super, so I'm still really excited to play him, really excited to try him. So coming in at number 11, I don't think this is really... No one's really shocked about this, but I do want to say that I do know that the best way to buff this character is just increase his animations on his skill 2, his ultimate, and increase the acceleration rate that his rush attacks come out quicker. So that's it. Like, Bojack has good damage. A lot of people kind of underestimate Bojack sometimes, especially with that skill 1 and skill 3. Like, they could be, but it's just the rest of his kit is so slow, and like you're not getting much out of it. Like, yeah, of course he's the worst character in the game, but you give him that nice little TLC, and honestly he's gonna shine. Coming in at number 10, I'm gonna put Oob, and Oob is very late game dependent. His early game is pretty weak, but it's mostly just the character is positioning the character. You need to understand where you're putting Oob, otherwise you're just gonna melt. He's so incredibly squishy, and I think in the hands of the right player, like, he could exceed the expectations and go a little higher, but just to me, like, if the average Joe is using him, it's not gonna be too great. And even then, the work that you have to put in to keep Oob and maintain Oob, it just doesn't feel too great to me, especially when we have other characters that can just do anything that Oob can do just so much easier. Coming in at number 9, I'm gonna go ahead and put Deborah, and I'm only putting Deborah this low because he's entirely dependent on his debuffs, which are debilitating. Don't get me wrong, like, those debuffs fucking suck. I hate dealing with them, but outside of that, his damage is lacking. He's very partner dependent. Like, he's a very partner dependent DPS. Like, he shines alongside of characters that slow people down, like good technicals like Boo, gotenks, but like he needs those partners to really shine in order to get the best out of him. Vegeta, Cooler are really good tanks to put alongside of him, but if you don't have those specific characters, you're gonna put in a lot more work with the board than you really feel like you should. Coming in at number 8, I'm going to put Android 18. And Android 18 is only going so low for me because, like, I feel like in terms of, you know what, no, we're gonna do this. I hate playing alongside of Trunks. I really do. I think the character's got great mobility, but like, he's so squishy for no damn reason for a character that wants to be in your face. Being able to block someone's sight is cool and all, but I hate playing alongside of Trunks. Like, I always feel like he's just a wasted DPS slot every single time I play with someone. And don't get me wrong, there are people that can make this character pop off, which is definitely why I'm putting him over top of these. I hate fighting alongside of the Trunks. 18 is kind of middle of the row. You can argue anywhere between these slots, I would say, and I couldn't really stop you. I just think that she's a solid middle ground character. She's got some good strengths. She's not the best DPS in the world, but she's a character that can just get the job done. Like, just a good, solid character. We're gonna go ahead and put the Gammas up next, and the Gammas would be a lot lower for me, personally, but I have been a diehard Gamma main, and I feel like these characters are very underestimated and underrated. I feel like they definitely offer a lot more than what people think, and I don't really feel that same clunkiness. They have a great DPS output in both skill 1 and skill 2 and skill 3. The chase down tool is insane. Gamma, the skill 1 is a great get out of there tool, and the ultimate being a 60-second cooldown that just effectively doubles your output and gives you access to Core Breaker at level 3. It just annihilates anything off the field. It's like the ultimate late game ultimate to just pop some people if you're putting it in the right place. I think there are some good valid reasons as to why they're a lot lower. I personally don't see it. Coming in at number 5 and is going to be Diamond Goku, and a lot of people really put this character much higher or really talk this character up, and I think it's just another one of those characters where it needs the right hand to play. Very debilitating, great damage, great overtime damage, but like you got to know how to really put Diamond Goku through it. Although him with Gohan, toxic combo, actually toxic. Coming in at number 4, I'm gonna put Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Actually, no, sorry. We're gonna put Goku here. We'll put Piccolo up next. Piccolo, I highlighted pretty much my main concerns in my initial tier list with Piccolo. It's just the fact that I feel like Hellzone Grenade is just a little inconsistent as a damage dealing option, but he's just got such insane burst damage as long as you can hit your shots that you can't put him any lower. Like, Piccolo is just a good DPS. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I was going to put in 4, but I can't kind of justify putting him under Piccolo, considering that, you know, he's got better escape tools and instant transmission is just kind of broken. But he's a very sluggish character. The second that you click that Kamehameha, like, you're really just stuck there, and I think a lot of people have understood that using limit breaking jump, this Goku is on the field, kind of just neuters him entirely, but that doesn't mean that he's not a phenomenal character. Like, he is still through and through one of the best DPS in the game, especially with someone that can really optimize his play. Coming in at number 2 is Kale, and then of course we're gonna put Goku there. Kale, just insane damage. She's a little on the squishier side, but she makes up for with literally one of the best ultimates in the entire game. Insane burst damage just from start to finish, and then Goku is just kind of the same, just with better mobility, and I would say a better objective based ultimate, because Spirit Bomb at level 2 and higher is just insane. But outside of that, I think Kale has the overall better ultimate, but Goku just has an entirely better kit. Kaioken for insane burst damage and escape. Meteor Hammer got nerfed for a cooldown, really doesn't feel like it, and Kamehameha is just stupid. So there we go. That's the damage ranking tier list from 11 worst to 1 best. Let's go ahead and move on to the tanks. Number 6. This one is going to get some people. I'm putting this motherfucker there. I'm putting Vegeta there. The more I started playing Vegeta, the more I'm sitting there, I'm like, I hate the way he feels. I love the fact that he has the lowest cooldown on a skill that really just fucking, it really feels awful to use that skill 1. Because, like, if they're at any form of a distance and have good mobility, you're just gonna miss most of your shit. Skill 2 having a 10 seconds cooldown, like, yeah, it's his best tool, and I understand it, but it's, when you couple it with skill 3 having a 15-second cooldown, like, it just starts feeling awful. And then Big Bang Attack as an AoE ultimate, I hate using it. I almost begin to start skipping Vegeta's ultimate just entirely if it wasn't for the fact that you kind of need it for objectives, because everything else about Vegeta just does not feel great, personally. I definitely think he's like the worst tank in the game. Like, if he wasn't here, he was going to be here, but I can't justify any reason to put him over Zamasu. Zamasu is an early game beast and definitely needs to be built in the right way in order to become a late game powerhouse, but that leaves you open to being a little more squishy in the late game. But early game, there's no one that can contest you. If you build up that gauge before you start engaging on your very first team fight, like, Zamasu can outweigh just about anyone and make it so your DPS can just finish either getting that Kai or just jump in and just blitz someone down to win the team fight. Like, Zamasu's early game is so strong, and he's got really great potential in his skills. I think they're a little lackluster when you get the late game besides that skill 1, but ultimately Zamasu is a early game beast and can really help you decide the match from the start. If it wasn't for his weaker late game, he'd be much higher for me. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Baby, and Baby is just much like the Boro, where he's just really partner dependent. He works really alongside of characters that can really get in, and ironically, you know, like his best partners like Super Saiyan Goku. I don't think he shines with like the ranged style characters, which we do have a lot of ranged style characters. So as long as you pair Baby pretty well, outside of pairing him pretty well, he does have some really nice tools as a tank. It's just like lots of push off, low cooldowns, just a good character, like a solid middle of the pack. Coming in at number 3, I'm going to put Cell. I think this character is immensely slept on. Yes, his early game is definitely a little weak, but once you get to that mid to late game where you start boosting his skill 1, getting his skill 2 up, getting his ultimate, and then the second that you transform, Cell becomes insane. If you give him some beef and then give him Wicked Warrior, yeah, Cell's damage begins to just really skyrocket. His sustain is incredible. I really wish they would buff skill 3. It does not feel good to use ever, but as a sustain tool, it can get the job done as long as you use it in the right situations. He'd be a little higher if it wasn't for his weaker early game and that skill 3. Number 2 is Khalifa, and then Cooler. I'm gonna be honest, you could really argue either of these, but I think this is how it should be, and it's kind of unanimously agreed on. Not much to say about Khalifa. The rage mechanic is broken. Like, having them completely focus all efforts on Khalifa just makes her an objective game beast. And then Cooler is just absolutely broken. I think this character needs a nerf. He is way too strong of a character. Just has everything, all that in a bag of chips, and then he's got some cake to eat on the side too. Like, he's too good. That'll do it for tanks. 6 through 1, worst to best. Vegeta, Zamasu, Baby, Cell, Khalifa, and Cooler. Now moving on to technicals, and I'm actually really excited to talk about the technicals because of the blue changes. So we're just gonna go ahead and get right started with Krillin. Now I do want to preface something really fast about especially in the terms of technicals. Whereas over here on these two lists, like any of the characters, like the worst of the damage are definitely characters you should probably avoid. The worst of the tank is something that you should probably avoid. I will never recommend anyone play Vegeta. But here over in technicals, I don't think any of these characters are bad, personally. Like, I think they're all good, they're all unique, they're all strong in their own ways. It's just some do the job just a little bit better, except for the number 1 slot, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Krillin is a good, he is a good technical, very debuff and disorienting technical. I think he just immediately got outclassed by Gotenks, because Gotenks just kind of does what he does a little bit better, aside from that like really massive blind solar flare. But Krillin is a solid, dependable technical, just a little low on the damage side. Sometimes that can weigh very heavily into team, but he's a good character nevertheless. Coming in at number 6, I'm gonna put 17. And again, I want to preface what I said before. I don't think any of these characters are bad. 17 is just a good character. Great support, good armor passing to your allies, a solid ultimate that will always catch people off guard. It's just, again, I think the characters that we have left here just job a little bit better. One of them being Hit. And I've been seeing a lot of people put Hit up here, and I can understand that because, like I said in my initial tier list, and I normally don't take player skill into account, but there are some characters that you really kind of gotta. Because if someone is mediocre with Hit, he's gonna feel off. But if they are a great player, he's gonna feel so much better than he's gonna feel much better because you're utilizing his tools well. But I think it's because of that in particular, like you need a specialist touching Hit. It's just what keeps him down for me, because when he feels bad, when he feels good. And that's just kind of the way I see it. Number 4 is going to be Gotenks. And when I said in my initial tier list video, I said he feels like an S tier character. I would say more so of an A tier character. High A tier. And that's kind of putting him right middle of the row here in technicals. Gotenks has a lot going for him. He's a very cheeky style of character. The ghosts are really good. Galactic Donuts, I wish was an actual skill, but unfortunately it's just a little too easily avoidable. And then the same with the skill 1, like it does insane burst damage, and if you catch anyone off of their dodge, they're most likely gonna die because that stun at the end is insane. But it's just a lot of what Gotenks has is pretty easily avoidable. He's a very team fight oriented character, but like you need to understand the positioning, and you need to understand where you're placing Gotenks in a vacuum in order to really make him shine. But I think what really keeps his character this high are the ghosts are just really good, just very strong, good utility. Yeah, like a good character. He's a good character. I'm not saying that he's terrible. I don't think he's bad. I think I may have put him a little higher based off of my initial reaction of his kit, but ultimately I think gotenks, good character, good middle of the row technical. Coming in at number 3 is gonna be Boo. I wish the buffs did put him a little higher, personally, because I love playing Boo. I love Boo, but the buffs were phenomenal, and it's crazy that him only getting a damage buff to his skill 1 and an overall HP increase just helped flesh this character out, because the foundation was there and Boo was always just a little too squishy, but with that extra HP and the extra damage off of this, Boo could do everything that he's always wanted to do and just then some. Good, solid healer now. He can stay in fights a little longer, he can push back, he can do the damage that he wants to do, support his team very well. Coming in at number 2 is Gohan, and then number 1 here is Frieza. Gohan is, not much to say about Gohan, just the character's good. Like, there's really nothing to explain about Gohan. Skill 2 is fucking broken, that skill's insane, just a good character. Like, you cannot argue that Gohan is not one of the best in the game. And then Frieza, I still wholeheartedly believe that Frieza is the best character in Gekishin Squadra right now. Just everything that this character could do, the damage that Doria and Zarbon can deal, his objective getting, his speed. This is an insane character. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the fact that he is squishy, and if you can get your hands on him, he just melts, I would say he is in absolutely dire need of an emergency nerf. But it's that health pool that really kind of keeps him aligned with, you know, being, I guess, fair enough. But Frieza is like the epitome of, I'm the fastest tower defense character you'll ever see in your damn life. Like, there's no reason he should be that fast. There's no reason the Doria and Zarbon should be doing what they're doing. Frieza is undoubtedly, in my mind, the best character in this game and the best technical. And there we go. He is going to be amongst the top 4, though. If I'm going to give my judgment on Toppo, I think he's going to take the number 5 spot or the number 6 spot here on my damage roll list, simply just because I feel like that destruction mechanic that he has is gonna make his initial damage low with a high ceiling. Like, you can get that damage to skyrocket, but you gotta apply it first, and I think that's what's gonna put him down, and it makes him more of a slow build style of character versus something like these characters up here that can just outright fucking nuke you before you even start to think. But I think there's a really great foundation on Toppo, and we'll see how he feels come tomorrow or today when, you know, this video does happen live. But there we go. That'll do it for my rankings of each of these characters. Let me know what you guys think of that down below. If you agree with any of my placements, if you disagree with any of it, that's perfectly fine. I'm all up for debates. I'm all up for people's opinions. I love doing these kinds of videos just because they spark a real nice discussion. So let me know what you guys think down below. I love to hear your opinions, your thoughts, and all of this. And then let me know if you are looking forward to Toppo, because I am. I am very much looking forward to Toppo and playing Toppo. So thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to y'all later.